Hey, everybody. It's Friday. A little bit of Friday going on. Let me get my phone working so I can see you guys. Get my phone working so I can see you guys. Hey, Miss Terry. Nice to see you. Thank you for popping on. So, yeah, it's Friday. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of things. So, everybody, get your pens and paper, get you something good to drink. I got my coffee. Wow, that's hot. So that's fresh coffee. Whew. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. So it's a minute or two before the hour. And I really like to let people have an opportunity to get on simply because, if we go live pretty much at the same time all the time, then people get used to it and they pop on. So let me just put a reminder out here that we're going live. And I want to just give everybody time to get here and think about the things that are going on today. Today is Friday. Had a little bit of music going on in the beginning. Get a little bit of groove going. Yep. So I see Terry's with us and Leanne, Bethany, Gregory. Thank you guys for coming. We're going to get started in just 1 minute. Give us 1 more minute. I like to wait till 1 minute past the hour to actually start getting into the meat and potatoes of the call, just to give folks time to catch up with us. And, Facebook did an upgrade. I don't know if you guys are seeing it on your end or not. I know I talked to a friend of mine and said, I don't see the upgrade you're talking about. Well, some people are seeing it. Some people aren't, and it's just one of those things. I guess they're doing it in batches. So I had learned how to go live, right? Before, well, it's funny because, excuse me, we're live on Facebook. We're actually on Zoom. Okay. So, there's a process and, I spent some time, Joe and I did spend some time figuring it out and learning how it worked and everything. And we got about a week's worth of lives under our belt before they made the change. And then they made the change. And now it's made it really difficult for the presenters to get on, and to actually go live. And I've been watching some other folks' lives that are using the Zoom platform, and they're having the same issue. So I know it's not just me. Apparently, we're all doing it right. It's just not working completely. So that's how it goes sometimes. So it's 2 minutes past the hour. We're going to get started with Crypto Let's Talk. And as you can see, I'm solo today. And the reason I'm solo today, unfortunately, Joe has had a family emergency. So we want to all keep him in our thoughts and prayers, send him some good energy his way, some great light his way, because he could use that right about now. So I'm gonna jump on this today. So one of the things that Facebook has done is it wants you to connect when you're using another platform to go live. It wants you to connect like really super fast. So there's no time to type in a description or anything, because by the time you get the description typed in, then it kicks you out and says you need to restart your stream. So that's why there's no description. Hopefully they'll get that fixed soon. I'll keep working on it and keep trying to learn how to do that. What I may just start doing is putting our description on my Facebook page under the going live, so people know what we're talking about. So today, one of the things I want to talk about today is being in business for yourself. And if you guys have been on and off with us this week, you know that we've been talking about owning your own business. And, you know, there's a lot to be said for owning your own business. Okay. And one of the things that I want to, excuse me, one of the things that I want to kind of get out there and kind of, you know, talk about personally is the fact that I'm a dadpreneur. And so I'm on the fly, I'm on the go all the time, never know what's coming. You know, my life is a whirlwind, so to speak. Never know when my son is going to throw a monkey wrench in the plans, being the little monkey that he is. And so, you know, for me, I can't imagine what it's like for those parents that actually have like a 9 to 5 or a 12 to 12 or whatever it is that they work, you know, all night, all day, whatever. I can't imagine how they make everything work, because it's all I can do to keep everything moving and in sync and stay on top of stuff. So like, and I'm not talking about major stuff. I'm talking about like keeping the house clean, meals prepared, you know, laundry done, you know, just normal activities. And so I wonder, you know, for me, I wonder, how do the rest of the world actually handle that? And so for me, that's kind of why I do home-based business. That is my number one drive. It is my number one ambition to be able to be in control of my life. And so I'll give you another example real quick. And that's right now, if you're in the loop and you're watching any of the news feeds, or you happen to have seen the news, you see that over in Hawaii, we have a volcano erupting, right? And those of you who know about cryptogenics and the core 5, you know that Kathy and her son both just moved over there. Well, it happens to be that the volcano that's erupting is in their area. So they have evacuated their area and moved to a safer location on the other side of the island. And they're safe. They're fine. As of right now, their homes are fine. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed and our good energy and our prayers going to them to save their property and all the other people's property, hopefully. But where am I going with that? Kathy literally said yesterday, thank God I work from home and I've got a laptop. If I've got internet, I can work from anywhere. And, you know, it kind of hit me. It's like, you know, that's another benefit of having your own home-based business. That's another benefit of being in control of your entire life, right? And so, you know, that segues me into the crypto world and the opportunity that lies in the crypto world. A lot of people haven't really realized as of yet that crypto can and will be the new financial tool that we will be using, you know, and along with that new financial tool comes the opportunity to actually be ahead of the curve and kind of get in on something before it gets too big. And so, you know, right now, I think I'm going to quote one of my business partners. I believe I read a post this morning from Rob Harris that said, or maybe it was Will Fajetlin, one of the two of them said, you know, less than 15% of Americans own or know anything about cryptocurrency. So, you know, the timing is really good for people to actually get into a home-based business. When you come on board with Cryptogenics specifically, and I can't talk about other companies because I'm not affiliated with any other company except Cryptogenics. When you come on with Cryptogenics specifically, you're getting $1 million business. Okay. That's what it costs them to get it up and running. $1 million business. That's what they put in the bank before they ever said a word to anybody about creating this beautiful education system. And so you're getting all of the stuff that comes with that $1 million business for $300. $300, you know? So a friend of mine texted me this morning. She's a regular with our lives. And she said, you know, the role play that you and Joe did yesterday really helped me a lot, but I would love to hear how you combat the objection of, well, why should I pay you $250 or $300 to be, a member of Cryptogenics to get an education that I can just, go online and Google or YouTube or Yahoo or any of those other services that are out there and get the same information. And I laughed when because we were texting back and forth, we weren't on the phone, and I laughed out loud when I read it, and I was like, it's funny to me that we will pay thousands and thousands of dollars. So like the average college student that is graduating from college, they're in debt approximately $76,000 for the education that they got, with no guarantee that they will get a job in that field. Okay. And so for me, I have two things that I like to say to people when they have that objection or they have that question. I like to first say, well, number one, you don't know the people that you're getting the information from when you YouTube and you Google and you Yahoo and all these other services that people use to research, right? So wouldn't you rather get the information straight from the horse's mouth? Like, wouldn't you rather be in contact with the people that have tried and true, have proven the systems work, have made the money, 7-8 figure income earners with this very same information? Wouldn't that be more prudent to do than to go online and hope and pray that whoever catches your eye is telling you the truth, and that their ultimate goal is not to fish you out of your Bitcoin or your money? Because a lot of that stuff out there is designed, the end goal is to get you to watch them and trust them enough that, down the road a little bit, they're going to ask you for some Bitcoin or some money. So for me, it's a no-brainer. That's the first thing I like to say. Then the second thing I like to say is, if we go to college, and many of us have gone to college, many of us have degrees, many of us have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on education, okay, both in the school curriculum arena and in our own education, may it be online or accredited courses or personal development or whatever the case may be. But it's an ongoing process, okay? It's an ongoing process. And so for me, the second thing that I like to say is, at least I know at the end of taking these 45 classes that are going to cost me $300, at least I know, I'm guaranteed that I can take that information and that I can put it to use, right? Now, the guarantee is that you can put it to use. It's up to you as to whether you make a profit or you circle the drain or you throw your money away, because you have to interpret the information in a way that allows you to know how and when to invest in cryptocurrencies and or, ICOs, mining, things of that nature. So, knowing that at the end of these 45 classes, I can put this to use is phenomenal to me. Like, it is beyond, it is beyond mind blowing that I could do that. And so someone asked me, says, well, how long will it take to take those 45 classes? And I'm like, depends on you. They're open. You can take them one behind the other. I wouldn't recommend taking more than 3 or 4 of the classes at a time and then take a break and give your mind time to absorb it. It's a lot of information. Yes, the classes are very small, okay? The lessons, I should say, are very small. I think the majority of them are under 15 minutes, okay? But at the end of the day, there is so much packed in those 15 minutes that, your mind is going to turn to mush. Like, literally, it's going to turn to mush because it's going to get so much information that it just not going to know how to process it. So, a good example of this is I've been in this industry for a year. Luckily, I was taken by the hand and I was shielded from a lot of the bad and guided and told, stay away from that. Don't work with that. Go over here. And, even at that, we all made some mistakes and learned some very valuable, in a lot of cases, some very expensive lessons. Okay. But the fact remains is I've been in this a year, and I took the 101 class. Okay. The course 101, because we have Bitcoin 101, cryptocurrency, and then the advanced class. And so I took the 101 class. I had 9 pages in a notebook, and I don't write real big. Okay. So I had 9 pages in a notebook of notes that I took, front and back of the page. And I've been in this industry for a year. So, that being said, there's a lot of value. Okay. There is a lot of punch, if you will, for the things that we offer with Cryptogenics. But that's the same for any business, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not part of Cryptogenics and you're part of another company, and you you want to participate in team building or introducing your business to others, then the best thing I can tell you to do is you have to know the benefits. Okay, you have to know the benefits, because people are going to come at you with all kinds of questions. Okay, and so hopefully the young lady that asked me to go over that is on this live. If not, she can get the replay. So what I'm going to say here now is I haven't been doing this. And Joe and I would like to kind of see who's showing up and getting this as a replay. So if you're watching this, if you just comment anywhere during it, just comment replay, so we know that you came in and got the recording. We'd appreciate that. We really would. Also, we would like for you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and leave a message, please. That's Crypto Let's Talk at YouTube. Crypto Let's Talk, and that crypto is spelled with a K. So that's a couple of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is temperature questions. So I had a young lady ask me, says, well, how do you know when somebody's ready to close? How do you know to go ahead and ask the closing question? And I said, why? Why do you need to know that? And they're like, well, because I don't know. I'm not really good with it. And I don't know. I don't know when to ask the closing question. I said, well, first of all, you got to take their temperature. Okay. Because you don't want to try to close them before they're ready to be closed. So you definitely want to take their temperature. Hang on a second. And when you take their temperature, you might ask them something like, let's say that as we talked about yesterday, let's digress just a second. As we talked about yesterday, we've kind of asked for their permission at this point to give them some information, and it's a yes or no question. They have said yes. So now we have sent them some more detailed information. Okay. And we actually have them in our lead system. All right. And so now what we've done is we've kind of exposed them to what we're talking about. We've exposed them to Bitcoin. We've exposed them to cryptocurrency. And if we have had 2 or 3 interactions with this person, by now, by the 3rd interaction, you're probably going to give them your Cryptogenics page, right? Your business page. And so by this point, they've seen what we have to offer. They pretty much know how much it's going to cost. They know that they could be a customer. They know they could be a promoter. So basically, that is the time when you could ask this question. Okay. Hey, Pam, thanks for coming. That is the time that you could ask this question. It would be, so Pam, do you see some value in the information that you've been looking at? And just be quiet. Don't say anything else. Just be quiet. Let Pam talk. Okay. And Pam's either going to say, yes, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, but I'm confused. She's going to give you some answers. Okay. No one is ever going to want to tell you that they didn't get any value out of something, that's a negative response. We're not conditioned. We're not psychologically wired that way. But it could happen. I mean, realistically, it could happen. And when it does happen, that's okay. Okay. You put them on that list we talked about yesterday, and you circle back around in a few weeks and you touch them again. You know, something I didn't say yesterday that I meant to say is a person has to hear something 7 times, 7, before it gets inside and they understand it. Okay. So if they say no, it's okay. It's okay. You're looking for 7 no's from them so you can get to the yes. That's kind of how it works. So now you're going to apply all of the information and all the things that you've been learning in cryptogenics, because they've said yes, they do. And so when they say yes, they see value in what you're offering. They've literally closed themselves. Okay. I don't usually ask them. This is just my personal style. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how I work. I don't usually ask them, you know, a hard close question. What I will normally ask them at that point is, okay, so when do you see yourself getting started? How quickly would you like to get started? That's not a hard close question. They've already said they see value in what we're offering. So they've closed themselves. Now it's a question of when do they want to start? Okay. So another question that you might ask, and I wrote these down. I actually have notes today because I knew Joe wasn't going to be here and I wanted to be kept on track. So let's say, you know, since you see value and since this makes a lot of sense to you, when do you want to start? Do you want to get started right now? Now, when you ask do you want to get started right now, a lot of people will consider that a hard close question. Okay. Depending on the person and depending on the conversation that you're having with that person would depend on whether that is a hard close question or not. If you're having a casual conversation and, you know, it's quiet, it's calm, it's peaceful, that's not a hard close question. If there's a lot of excitement in someone's voice, that's usually a sign of anxiety. And I would not say that question because that would indicate to me personally that they want to get started, but maybe they're trying to figure out where they're going to pull the money from, or how many days it's going to take, or when their next payday is, or how they're going to tell their spouse that they're going to do this and get educated in cryptocurrency. And oh yeah, by the way, you know, since I said spouse, I recommend that everybody that is involved with cryptogenics, please get your spouse to read this information, to get this information. Let them see what you're doing. Okay. Let them into your world. It's going to make your life easier. Yeah. It's going to answer a lot of their questions that they maybe don't want to ask you, right? It's going to bridge the gap between you and them as to where you stand. It's going to create a more supportive atmosphere for you and make it easier for you to do your business. So definitely recommend that. So back to the question, you know, if their anxiety level is up, you know, don't ask that. Are you ready to get started now? Don't ask that. Okay. But if they're calm, cool, and collected, that's definitely not a hard close question. So what are you going to do once they say yes and they say they want to get signed up? Well, personally, me, I like to walk my people through the sign up process just in case they have any questions. Sometimes I'll do that with a Zoom. Sometimes I'll be on the phone. Oftentimes, if they're not real computer literate, I will actually put the information in for them. But I like to do that on a Zoom where I'm sharing my screen so that they can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. So that I'm walking them through the process. So what am I doing? I'm helping my new person. I'm enrolling a new person, but I'm training that new person at the same time. And that's huge. So always use your time as wisely as possible. Get as many things accomplished in the same amount of time as you possibly can. You'll thank me for that tip later, about 6 months from now. And so, you know, you're going to, after you get them enrolled, you're going to point them to their website. Walk them through it. Take that extra 10 minutes, okay? Show them the front and tell them, this is, Pam, this is what your brother's going to see when you send him your link, okay? This is where he's going to land. And there is website below the fold. You have to roll that thing up, okay? A lot of people don't realize that the landing, that are websites are websites. They're not landing pages, okay? I cannot tell you how many people didn't know that you have to scroll below the fold. So scroll below the fold. You can read some information. It'll kind of guide you along. And then go ahead and walk them into their back office. Let them log in. Give them control of the computer. Let them log in, okay? Walk them through all of the things back there. The blog, very important. Stay up to date. You gotta be connected to the blog. I check it 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, okay? The tools. The tools is where you're going to find the presentations in all the different languages. We have over 30 languages right now. Okay. So if you're talking to someone in France, don't you want to send them the presentation in French? Yeah, you kind of do. If you're talking to somebody in Germany, don't you want to send them the German one? How about someone in Spain? You want to send them a Spanish presentation, right? Specifically for the Spaniard of Spain? Yeah, you do. And so what I want to say to you here is that, you know, the extra time that you're going to spend with that person, you're really doing more than you could even imagine, okay? Because most people that join a company, most people that join a business, and this is sad, and I don't like this, but I'm going to be honest with you. They join a leader, and the leader gets them signed up, and quite oftentimes that's, you know, more or less the extent of the relationship, the interaction. Don't be that person. Don't be that leader, okay? Be the leader that spends that extra 10, 15, 20 minutes. Hey, Joe, love you, man. I didn't expect you, but it's good to see you. Love you. Go ahead and spend that extra time because you're building a relationship with that person, okay? You are doing something that 9 out of 10 people won't do. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, those people are going to sing your praises to the moon and back when they're talking to people. And when they're talking to their prospects, they're going to say, hey, you know, I've got the greatest upline support you could ever imagine. They walked me through my entire office. They helped me get signed up. They answer my questions. You know, if I need to, I can text them or call them or email them and they get back to me in a short period of time. You know, depending on how busy everybody is, I would say if someone gets back to you in 24 hours or less, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That is being on top of your business. Okay. And that also depends on what's going on in the business. You know, sometimes you can get back to somebody in an hour. Sometimes it may take 12 hours. Sometimes, you know, they may send it to you at 5 o'clock in the evening and you don't get it until you're having coffee the next morning because you didn't check your email. Okay. But support your people. Okay, support your people. Don't be that pump and dump leader. Okay, don't do that. There's too much of it in the industry. So once you do that, then what are you going to instruct them to do? You're going to instruct them to the training, right? They just paid for the training. Why not show them where the training is? So get them to click on it. Open it, show them the 3 modules, let them read some of the titles. They're going to get excited. You're going to feel their passion. Okay. It's a ride. It's a 10, 15 minutes. You might even spend 30 minutes with somebody doing this, but I'm telling you, it's the best 30 minutes you can spend ever in your business because that person's going to remember that. Okay. And that person is going to love you forever for that because now they don't feel like they're all by themselves. Okay. And they got to figure it all out. So then what you need to do is you need to plug them into the support groups. We have support groups on Telegram. We have support groups on Facebook. We have email support. Some of us have something called KGX Pro, which is a CMS system. I highly recommend it. You can communicate with your entire team once you input their information into your CMS. And, if you need to send out an email or an announcement or anything, you can put it in there, click all contacts in that group, and it goes right out. Wonderful. So, you plug them in. You definitely plug them in. Make sure that they have your information to get to you personally. Sometimes what we don't see as a huge, urgent thing, because we're seasoned or we've been in the business a while, or we're kind of used to crypto, or, we've rode a few of the waves over the year. And so, when that wave comes crashing down and your new person freaks out because Bitcoin just went from 19,000 to 10, to them, that's urgent. I need an answer now, right? So make sure that they have a way to contact you in an emergency situation. And remember that their emergency may not equate to your emergency, okay? Also, you want to introduce them to people, okay? So, for instance, there are some recordings from the Core 5 where we actually had interviews with the Core 5 before our pre-launch, before our soft pre-launch, okay? And so they came on and they introduced themselves and they talked to everybody and they just kind of gave a background. I feel that's hugely important to share with your new people, okay? We've been exposed to the Core 5. The ones we didn't know, we now have relationships with. The ones that we did know, we have better relationships with. But these new people, they don't know them, probably have never spoken to them. So, it's a good tool to put it in their hands. Don't be afraid to give your people homework, okay? They're looking to you for instruction and guidance. And in my opinion, and this is my opinion, we don't give enough of that. We don't give people what they need. And unfortunately, a lot of people need step-by-step, hold my hand walkthroughs, okay? And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Because remember, you're building an empire, all right? And it is not a sprint. It is not a sprint, okay? For you people that are watching numbers and seeing, certain people have all these people in their business or something just like that at the snap of a finger, you can't compare yourself to them. Don't even do it. You will talk yourself right out of business if you do, okay? You can't do that. Some of those people have a following that has been being built for, 10 years, longer even, It may not necessarily in cryptocurrency, but they've been building that following, okay? They've done several business opportunities with these same people. And so they have a rapport. And so they can pick up the phone and they can say, John, I need you to, look at this. And if you like it, let's get started. And they can pick up the phone and say, Mary, I need you to look at this. And if you like it, let's get started. And yeah, you've got people like that too. Okay. But your circle for that group is a lot smaller. And the smaller your circle for that group is, the less people that's going to pull the trigger fast. Okay. So let's use, I'll use Rob Harris, for example. Everybody loves Rob Harris. Everybody. So Rob's got a following, right? And so, maybe, I don't know Rob's numbers. We've never talked about it specifically, but I would venture to say that Rob's probably connected with well over 20,000 people on a personal level. Okay. And so his numbers reflect that, but know this, the numbers that he has is the percentage of people that were interested out of 20,000, maybe, so you got to have that circle's got to be big and wide, and you've got to be able to connect with those people. All right. So Joe and I started doing these lives because, we said to each other, we need another way to actually talk to people, to actually get to know other people. And we are getting to know a lot of people through comments and emails and text messages and whatever, people post messages on our pages directly and stuff like that. And so it's working. Okay. Now, I can tell you that I did a few lives before Joe and I started doing lives, and I called it Eating the Frog. Okay. And I really don't know why it bothered me. I think it's the camera, really. I think it's the fact that people are watching you, but you can't see them. And that's a little bit intimidating. I don't know. I don't know what the mental part of it is. All I know is that I had to write on a frog, lives, and I had to eat that frog. And so I ate the frog one day, and it didn't taste too good, but I did it. And then I ate the frog another day, and it didn't taste as bad, right? And I was a little more comfortable. And then day after day after day after day, it just got easier and easier and easier. And by the time that Joe and I started doing them, and doing them daily, except for Sundays, we actually look forward to this. This is a part of our day that we enjoy. We really enjoy coming and just talking, and sometimes we talk about rabbit hole stuff, and sometimes we talk about business. Sometimes we talk about being a dadpreneur. Sometimes we just talk about life in general. But the good thing about that is everybody knows that we're going to do it. And so they've been jumping on and jumping on and jumping on, and our numbers are growing. I mean, I'm shocked at the numbers that we had. We have several now that are over 500 views, which, when I started, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody was on my first live or my second live. And then Joe and I were practicing when we did our very first live. We were actually trying to figure out the system, and we accidentally went live. So that was crazy, right? And I think maybe there was a couple people that popped in on that, and it just grew from there. So let's say we started with 2 and we're over 500 views average on our videos. That's crazy. That's phenomenal for 2 guys, 2 dads that are just getting on Facebook and talking. That's all we're doing, talking. So, whatever intimidates you, it would be my recommendation. Whatever bothers you, whatever is holding you back, whatever makes you feel really uncomfortable, that's the very thing you need to do. Yeah. Because once you become comfortable with everything, guess what? Then you're looking for something to be uncomfortable about. And that's how you know you're growing. Okay. Yesterday, Kathy said, if you're green, you're growing. If you're not, you're rot. It's true. It's very true. And I feel better about myself and my business. And I feel better about supporting Cryptogenics and being, a leader in that company, because I'm doing what I can do. I'm showing up every single day. Okay. I'm talking to people. I am, I'm helping my team. I am putting out new information. I'm creating stuff. Today, for example, I put 3 or 4 different things in my team's group room. Okay. Probably before most of them ever got up. I did. I really did. And one of the things I put in there was, I think it was Bethany that asked me to write down that script for the cold leads yesterday, the thing on N.I.C.E, and then how to talk to somebody you haven't talked to in a while. So I wrote all that out, in a way that I hope it comes across in an understandable way, in a useful way. Now, I didn't post that publicly. I didn't, because, I feel like if people are coming to the lives and they want it, then I'll let them ask for it if they're not part of my team or whatever. And I don't mind sharing it, but I just like to know who I'm interacting with. And so, I don't have a problem giving it to anybody that wants it. I thought it was a really good tool. I actually believe that it will bridge the gap in a lot of ways for a lot of people. And I was talking with Pam earlier today, and Pam and I were talking back and forth about that very thing yesterday. And we said, you could even use that with a warm lead. You could just use it anywhere you want to use it. Just get really comfortable with it. Make it part of your normal everyday conversation. And once you do that, you're going to be very confident in the words that you speak. You're going to be very confident when you tell somebody, I got something you really need to look at, and I'm excited about it. And I thought about you. You were who I thought about. You know what? At the end of the day, everyone wants to feel special. Every single person on the planet wants to feel special. They want to feel loved. They want to feel looked after. They want to feel protected. So why not give them what they want? Okay. Be that leader that cares. Be that leader that goes the extra step. Be that leader that, stays up an extra 30 minutes past your normal bedtime because the person that needs you is on the West Coast or in another country and your times don't sync up. Be that leader. Okay. Be honest with people. If you're tired, say, it's been a really long day. I've been up since 5:30, whatever time you get up. I may not be as quick, but let's do this. Be helpful. I like to think about business this way, and maybe this will help give you kind of a mental picture. I like to think about business this way. I want to treat the people that I'm in business with the same way that I would treat my grandmother. And I loved both my grandmothers. I had 4. I loved every one of them. Every single one of them I was very close to, and they all loved me. And so I feel like if I can treat the people that I work with the same way that I would treat my grandmother, then I'm treating them the best I know how, right? The best I know how, because I was my best self when I was with my grandmothers. Always. I was always my best self. Makes sense, doesn't it? That's kind of a good little gold nugget, right? Right? Just one little gold nugget. So, I hope that helps. As far as KGX updates, let me check and see if we have any blog updates while we're on live. I checked earlier today, and nothing that we hadn't covered was up to be discussed. But I can tell you a couple of things that I know that are not on the blog that maybe will kind of be, yeah, okay. So I can tell you a couple of things. Number one, the reason the blog hasn't been updated quite as much lately with brand new stuff, bam, 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 is because Stephen has been working with the app crew, and they have been developing all of the things that need to be developed for our app that's coming. And so everybody has been asking, when's the app coming? When's the app coming? I'm going to tell you unofficially, it's coming soon. And I know this because everybody's hands-on. Okay. And so when you have everybody hands-on, you're getting close to a reveal. So be watching the blog for that. I would expect that it'll hit the blog first. Tomorrow is Saturday, and I'm not saying anything here. I'm just saying tomorrow is Saturday, and usually we have special announcements on Saturdays. So who knows? Who knows? I would be on the call tomorrow at 3, the company call tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just to see, what's new, what's exciting, and what's coming, right? And then I also know that we've got part of our staff working on that app thing, and then we've got another big part of our staff working on the green miner thing, right? So everybody's really excited about the green miners, right? And so I'm personally excited about that because I don't own my mining equipment. We've talked about that off and on. I think we've mentioned it here on the live before. I know we definitely have talked about it on company calls and presentations. I have mining, but I have cloud mining. When you have cloud mining, you're just buying hash power. You don't own your rigs. So the fact that you can own your rig feels to me, in my mind, it just feels more realistic. It feels more stable, more less. Yes, I said more less smoke and mirrory. Yeah, and I made that word up too, mirrory. To me, like it feels tangible, it feels solid, it feels real to me, that I can own my equipment. So I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to getting some more information about that. Ms. Keene, I know you're watching. If you could shoot me any information that I could talk about, I would greatly appreciate that, as I have a lot of people asking about the rigs and stuff. I know that there's a lot of things that the Pinnacle leaders communicate with the core five that we can't really talk about. So, you know, there's things that I know that I'm not saying, but I choose my words very carefully. And I'm going to tell you that our green mining is going to be huge. It's really going to be huge. You're going to love it. And our app is going to be phenomenal. Okay. Absolutely phenomenal. And if you haven't looked at KGX Pro yet, do that. You know, you can go to Crypto Kris with a K, 2 Ks, CryptoKris.com, and you can look at it there. But what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you like what you see, don't join up under me. Okay. I already have my 3. So what I do is I try to help my team get their 3. If you're in our lineage, get with me or Joe or Pam so we can tell you who to sign with. If you're not in our lineage, that's okay too. Get to your upline and ask them if they've got KGX Pro, or if they're planning on getting it. Let's try to keep everybody together, working with people that they have relationships with if possible. If you don't have a working relationship with someone, then absolutely contact me and I'll help you get signed up under someone, because it is 3 and it's free. So we're working on getting the whole team 3. And then after we get the whole team 3, we're going back and put 2 spares in just in case for everybody. So really, technically, we're going to help everybody get 5 at the end of the day. But it's a really nice tool. Anyone who's ever worked with a CMS would love this. We have email, we have social media, we have the ability to work with leads. That's all I'm going to say there. You can look at it yourself. We also have a great email responder system. And by and large, it's worth way more than they're charging for it. Okay. But they've kept it affordable, and we're grateful for that. We can thank the core five for that. They do everything they can to get us as many tools as possible. And so what kind of tool is this? Somebody asked me that the other day. What kind of tool is this? And my answer was this, and I said it before I even thought about it, but that's just how brutally honest I am. I said, you know, it's the type of tool that the big leaders use and never tell anybody about. That's the kind of tool it is. So, you know, if you've ever wanted to be big in your organization, if you ever wanted to have more leads than you knew what to do with, if you ever wanted to have leads that you could actually give away and give to your team, I would definitely recommend KGX Pro. And again, you can look at it at CryptoKris.com. And again, please make sure that you try to stay in your lineage if you have working relationships with those people. Someone asked me the other day, why do you recommend that everybody stay with the people that they're working with? And my answer was very sincere. I recommend that if you have a good working relationship, because you've got all the learning curve out of the way, number one. Okay. Number two, you know what to expect from that person, right? Number three, you and that person have worked together, so each one of you knows what to expect from the other, right? So when is it appropriate not to stay in your lineage? Because I was asked that question too. It's appropriate not to stay in your lineage if, in fact, you are, you know, in some way put off. You don't feel like you got the support that you should have gotten. You've had a bad experience with someone. You know, you just don't feel warm and fuzzy. Then absolutely, you know, but know this, when you do that, you're making a conscious effort to leave a group of people that you've already worked with and that you were comfortable with at one point and go into a new group of people that you have to learn. Okay. And that you have to establish connections with. So I think that covers that pretty well. You know, cryptogenics is growing. It's growing faster than I can keep up with. I think the number is 80 countries now. I believe we're in 80 countries now. I didn't even know we had 80 countries. When they told us we were in 70 countries, I was like, what? Really? We have 70 countries? I need to go back and take some geography lessons. But yeah, I just, it's one of those things that you don't think about very often. And I just kind of had forgotten how many countries are out there. So we've got that. We're right on the teetering edge of 2,700 people. We'll probably have that by the end of the weekend. Okay. Remember, you're building an empire. All right. Now, if you were building a brand new house, you wouldn't run out and pour the foundation on sand. Okay. You'd work the ground first. You'd prepare the property for the foundation, right? So you will never, ever be able to go from 0 to 1,000 in one step. It's just not going to happen. Okay. If it does, watch for it to crumble, because it's a house of cards. And, my experience with houses of cards and houses built on unprepared land, they normally tumble. So build your relationships, love the people that you do business with. I can tell you this, and you may think this bad of me, and we'll close on this thought because we're getting close to the top of the hour, but you may think this is bad of me, and I'm sorry, I got to have a little something to wet my throat. Good coffee. So I kind of interview people. I really do. And if I see something, if something red flags me about a person, it's my business. At the end of the day, I don't have to put them in my business. Okay. I can recommend that they go to someone else. I can recommend that I place them in the team somewhere. I can recommend that this might not even really be for them, because in a lot of instances, it's not. If someone's looking for a get rich quick scheme, cryptogenics is not for them. They're not going to take the time to go through the education. All they're looking for is the 1 and the 2. They're looking for 2 steps. They're not looking for 45. Okay. And they're way more than 45. I promise you. There are 45 lessons. Then there's a lot of work to be done after those lessons. So, I have actually turned down people. I have actually told them that I didn't think we were a good fit. And the reason that I've done that is because I don't have any drama in my life. I try to live a very quiet, happy life. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in having a bunch of turmoil and drama and, backstabbing and people calling and talking about this person and that person all day long, every day. And, waking up to a million messages about what she said and he said and they did and they did. I don't have time for that. I'm 49 years old. Okay. I have an 8-year-old special needs child. I don't have time for that. Okay. He keeps me on my toes enough, and I get enough with him that I have no patience for stuff like that. Funny thing is I didn't have any patience for stuff like that way before we had our 8-year-old. Love him to death. Absolutely love him. Wouldn't trade him for nothing in the world. He's my sunshine. He is. I never thought I'd say that about a child. But at the end of the day, you need to look at this like you're interviewing people, not like you're trying to get their money. Okay? Take the money out of the equation. Look at them as you've got a business and you want to hire another employee. Is this person a good fit? Right? Because at the end of the day, if they're not a good fit, then they're not going to be a good fit for the entire relationship. Let that sink in for a second. The entire relationship. You feel me? So just be careful. Don't put just anybody in your business. Also know this, really, and this is the last tip. One more thing. I'm going to steal Joe's line. One more thing. Some people can't handle wealth. Some people can't handle responsibility. Cryptocurrency is a great responsibility that will generate great wealth. I promise. If you do it correctly, if you run the marathon instead of the sprint, if you put forth the time, the energy, the work, the faith, the commitment, the leadership, all those things, it's going to create great responsibility and wealth. So you have to know that you want to put people that are going to be good stewards in your business. Okay. People that are going to love to give back, people that are going to love to pay it forward, people that are going to love to reach down to the next person and grab their hand and help them up the ladder. Those are the people you're looking for. Okay. Now, your organization may not grow as fast as you want it to, but I promise you, it's going to grow strong and it's going to grow sturdy, and you're going to build something that will last. Okay. It really will. Joe, if you're still listening, I'll call you when we get off this call. Love you, man. Each and every one of you guys, we really appreciate y'all coming. Like I said, we really look forward to doing these. We come to you guys with a lot of passion. We come to you guys trying to bring you a lot of value. At the end of the day, we try to make you laugh a little bit. But at the same time, we really just love doing this, and we're going to keep right on doing it. As long as you guys show up, we're going to keep doing it. As long as the numbers keep growing, we're going to keep doing it. And you know what? For as long as I can foresee the future, I will be with Cryptogenics. So if you're looking for education in the crypto world, you need to reach out to somebody you trust. Okay. And if you don't have anyone else that you trust, get in touch with me. I'll help you. We love you guys. Joe, we love you. Sorry you couldn't be on today. Everybody have a phenomenal weekend. It's the weekend. We will have a live tomorrow. I'm not sure that Joe will be here. Odds are probably not. I'm not expecting him back before Monday or Tuesday of next week. But know that his spirit is here with us, and we love him, and we're going to send him a bunch of love, light, and energy his way. So y'all have a great day. And remember, we love y'all. Bye, guys.